You can't do it. I can't. You are stressing me to hell. I can't.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda. If this is your first time here, welcome to my beauty entertainment channel. Absolutely different setup. I did move. First time not living in a dorm, which is fantastic for me, but that means I don't know what I'm currently doing with this setup thing. It's very different, very new, very fun, very fresh. So if the audio sounds bizarre, I'm really sorry. I'll try again. But I tested it 6 different times, so it should work. And also this is where my mirror is now. It's not, so if I look at this, that's why. There's a mirror over here instead. I can't find my regular mic, so I'm using a different mic, which means this has to be on manual mode. You don't actually really care. But anyways, there's that. So if you would like to follow me on social media, here's my Twitter and my Instagram. Go have fun, enjoy yourself on there. If Twitter was working for me this morning, so maybe Elon's mistake, they've rectified that. I'm not totally sure. And then I don't know what I filmed recently. I think I did a Yellow Jackets. That was the last video I did. So if you like Yellow Jackets, that was just on season 1. I still have not watched season 2, but it's coming. I'm a mood watcher. I don't watch things until I feel like it, which is not great for running a beauty entertainment channel, but it's how my personal brain works. And I don't have any more nails because I start 3rd year this year, so I don't have any more nails, which is really sad. I'm really suffering, but you know what? Sacrifices. It's what the theme of this career that I've chosen is sacrifices. But today we're here to discuss one of my new favorite shows. We're here to discuss The Bear Season 2. I don't think I actually made a video on The Bear Season 1. I think I talked about it in Everyone is Bothering Me. That seems like something that I would do. So I don't think I actually sat down and made a video on it, but we're making a video on Season 2. I watched it twice. I watched it twice, but I watched episode 4 3 different times I won't get into that. So I'm just going to talk about my thoughts about the characters and then one of my favorite episodes at the end, and then we'll what we normally do. So yeah, sorry if the lighting is a little off. Don't kind of just put it on the settings that I remember from my 10th grade photography class and hope for the best. That was my thought process. Okay. And I haven't unpacked my makeup yet, back from my vacation, so I am doing my makeup out of my travel makeup case. So it's going great. It's actually going pretty great. Okay, so the first person I want to discuss, let me find my foundation first. I'm sorry. First character that I want to discuss is Luca. So I'm going to say a couple things very calmly, very collectly. Bring him back. I don't really have just look, I'm not going to fucking curse at you or anything, but in the nicest way possible, make him make a return. I'm not a writer. I'm not here to tell you should also pay your fucking writers. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but I think for the good of humanity, I think for the good, and I don't want to be dramatic, but I think for the good of the people, he should be back in season 3. Understood? Great. Then we have Fack. I have no real opinions on Fack. I do laugh most of the times that he's talking. He's very loud. Oh my God, that whole family is so loud. I don't know. They kept referring to them as the Facks, but in my head, it was not computing that there was a whole bunch of them who were like that. I don't know what, I don't ask what I thought, who I thought they were referring to when they were saying the Facks, but I did not realize that there was more than one of them. And there was even more. They said some were not even there at the Christmas episode, which that episode gave me a lot of issues up here, which I'll talk about at a later time. But yeah, I have no real thoughts on Fack. I think he's funny. I think everyone in this show is kind of funny though. So I think everyone in this show is pretty funny. Next we have Sweeps. He's funny. He's really funny. I have no actual thoughts. We don't know anything about them. Did he used to play baseball? Is that what the Bears is? Ooh, sorry. Sorry. But that's cool, I guess. Like, that's fun. You know, front of house fun. I am learning a lot of chef words, restaurant words, which is fun. Now I understand a little bit more. I don't. I looked a lot of stuff up. But anyways, next we have Ibra. I think Ibra's really sweet. I think he was genuinely frightened at the culinary school. It seemed far, to me at least, it seemed a little bit less like I'm, like, you know, that mentality of like, I learned it this way, I don't want to learn it a different way, like my way that I learned it in 1965 is the best way, I don't need to update on current technology. I think it was less that, more so just genuine fear, like just like it seemed far less like the I don't need to learn anything from these young people, and just like fear of change, which can a lot of people can have both, but I think he mostly just had like the genuine fear of the unknown, fear of new change. There's no guarantee where I can't like see where this is going, so I'm gonna be afraid of it, which a lot of people have. But it seemed more so than I think I'm better. I don't think I have anything else to learn. I think of course like that stubbornness comes into like most old people in their way of life, but it depends how it presents. To me, it presented more like I'm afraid of change. I have fear of the unknown, less that I'm an arrogant person who thinks that young people have nothing to teach me. Seemed less of that. I am glad though that Tina kind of laid into his ass about that, because that was needed, because he did leave her high and dry, and Tina, who's Queenie by the way, was really excited to learn. So I'm like, and she was also excited to learn with her friend who she's known a long time. And Ibra kind of just left her high and dry. And I didn't appreciate that, so I know Mother did not appreciate that, okay? I didn't. But, you know, everything kind of worked out, I guess. He doesn't have to learn too much new stuff now, I guess. So I guess there was a compromise met. But it's just really interesting to me. I do like that perspective, because there always is that of like the person who's been doing something for a very long time. And there's two paths you can go down. You can be an Ibra and you can be a Tina. And one is not necessarily better than the other. It's just like what your personality and your past, because we also don't know anything about Ibra's like past or history, so there very well could be something like he seemed genuinely like, I don't want to put a uniform on for like a different reason besides like I just don't want to put a uniform on. So we don't know everybody's life story, so it's not to say that one is necessarily better than the others, but I do like how the show showed two different paths. You're old, sorry I keep calling you old, but if you're like, you know, you're not 18 to 25 anymore, like you're not what two different like mentalities, mindsets you can have, and like where they can lead you. I do like how the show touched on that, because in like careers like the culinary arts, or even in like medicine and stuff, there is a lot of like hierarchy, and the hierarchy like is the golden rule, like you cannot break the hierarchy. But it's like there's a lot of things that people who are higher up can learn from people who are much younger. And, you know, technology changes, techniques changes, you have to roll with the times. So I liked how they brought that up. Now, Tina, you know, I had because I didn't make a video on season 1, I had very serious issues with Tina. Season 1, I mean, I like, you know that type of person, you know, again, I'm not calling her older, was interesting how the only other woman there was the one that Tina sort of like decided to like fuck with. That's very telling, but also very on trend. Very, very on trend. But this season, Tina's mother, I think she made me cry like 6 times in my rewatch of the show, because first of all, when Sydney it wasn't the first episode, right? When Sydney asked if she wanted that promotion, that whole scene made me cry. And she literally jumped to hug her, and that was the sweetest thing I think ever. She was so happy. She was like, she genuinely want to learn, and she genuinely took the step back and was like, Sydney has something to teach me. Sydney does have lots of things to teach me. She's not just, this like young girl, this young stupid girl. She knows so much, and she knows more than me in a lot of aspects. It requires a sense of, humbleness, humility, to be like, I have something to learn from you, and I would like to learn from you. I really appreciated how they like acknowledged, is that the word, that this season? So I thought it was really cute after, yeah. Of course she did realize things last season as well, but this season it was like, really kicked things into high gear, and I thought it was adorable, and I did cry like 7 different times actually watching her. And this is why you have to stop being antagonistic and nasty towards younger women in the workplace. Like, it's not like this idea of, I think it's multiple things. I think it's like, I don't want to learn from someone younger than me. What could you possibly have to teach me? I have so many more years on you, have so many more years of experience. But it's like, I think it's also like resentment towards freedom. And I'm like, look what just happened. Look what the highest court in the land just decided to do 3 days ago. We're not completely free, but at least I don't have to have a man get a credit card for me anymore. Like, so I think there is some resentment, and that makes sense, because I'm like, I honestly, when I hear about living in the 70s, and my heart I start getting palpitations. Like, that seems like actual hell on earth living in this country before the year 2000. Actual hell on earth. Besides the point. So I think that's one, like, what could you have to teach me? Like, I know so much more than you, but I also think it's like, look at how much you were able to accomplish at your young age, and I was never given the opportunity to actually do something like that because it was ripped away from me due to the systems. And it's like, you can't blame this young girl. You can't blame this young woman for the patriarchy. You shouldn't resent this young woman for the patriarchy and the damage that it's done to you and so many others of your generation. And she let it go. And look how much Tina is learning. You got a promotion. You're going to culinary school. Like, Tina's eating the girls up because you let that idea go. You let that hurt go. Let it go. Like, so many other careers. We could be let's all watch The Bear. I think if you have a job, you should watch The Bear. And maybe we can learn from Tina how to treat women in the workforce. Just an idea. Just an idea. Like, we've come so far. And I rewatched season 1 before I watched season 2. That was because I was like, because the show is excellent. So I'm like, I'm eating as well. We could have gotten here faster without Tina like fucking up on those potatoes and having to like feel embarrassed about that. But I'm like, I think it was necessary. Sometimes like everyone learns a different way, and if like someone is very old school, maybe they will learn by being a little embarrassed a little bit. But Sydney didn't go out of her way to humiliate her and be like, why the fuck did you mess up the potatoes? She doesn't have time to fuck around. She said that, period. But I also think, like, if we didn't have that, it wouldn't be, I never worked in a restaurant, so I don't know what's realistic and what's not, but I feel like without that, it would have been, like, not as realistic as it could have been. Like, she really was like, I know better, and she fucked up the potatoes. Like, come on. You can grow a little bit. You're not a tree. You can move. Come on now. And she did move. Though when Carmen gave her the knife, that also made me cry. That also made me cry a lot. Like, but I do think it's about time we learn about Tina. I think it's about time. I'm assuming assumptions that everybody gets an episode. Because at this point, like this season, it wasn't like the Carmi show. It wasn't really last season either. But I'm like, so which episode in season 3? Can it be like episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, where we just get to know a little bit more about Tina's backstory, Eva's backstory? Hope you're working on that, because you should be paying your writers to work on that. BT dubs. Okay, next we have Claire. I have no actual thoughts, which is sad. Yet I don't know if I'm supposed to have thoughts on Claire after watching that. I'm confused because nothing happened, yet so much happened. Yes, absolutely nothing happened. None of those scenes, like, this is just me. None of those scenes felt real. I don't know what the hell was happening when I was watching any scene with Claire and Carmi. Nothing felt real. nothing felt, dialogue didn't feel real, the setting didn't feel, it felt like I was like, I guess that was the point, like taken out of the show and put into something else. It felt bizarre. I felt like I was on a different planet. I felt like I was tripping out, honestly. Whenever she spoke, I was like, what are you like, what are you currently like, what are you trying to say? Like, what is your actually your point? I'm not totally sure. They all did seem to like her. Like, his family seemed to be really like, this is the girl for you. And I'm like, I wonder how much of that was, we just want Carmy to talk to another person. I wonder how much of it is that, and how much of it was like, we genuinely think like Claire is like Carmy's endgame or something. I'm wondering how much of, what kind of a mix between the two that was. I'm thinking it's both, but I'm like, I'm not really sure, but they did really like her, and that went to shit. Ooh, I think there was such like failed potential with her being an EM resident, because that's one of my, I'm deciding between 3 as of right now, and EM is one of them. I think that would have been, it would have been like, it's maybe not what they wanted to do, maybe it was not the point, maybe that was the point to ignore that, but how similar their two jobs are, I think that was such a missed. I'm not a writer, so this probably was on purpose, and I'm just saying things. How similar their two careers are, because I've never experienced residency at all, but the way it is described and the ways that we even see parts of it now and the way we're interacting with it now, this being a chef, like the training of being a chef, seems very, very similar to residency, and I'm like, it would be interesting to at least like just expand on that, because it seemed like the hierarchy, the way you're trained, like it's all seemed, it's very, very similar, and I'm like, I feel like we could have talked more about that, but maybe that wasn't the point. Maybe that just wasn't the point at all. And the point was to be like, not that, I guess. But I just think, as I was watching it, as I was watching the whole show, actually, I was like, because a lot of fields are, because medicine is very particular in the way it operates and how like they make you operate and things like that. And it felt the most similar that I've seen, like compared to a lot of other careers. And they just never really talked about that like seriously, like never actually like sat down and were like, what are the similarities here? I guess they don't have to, maybe that's not the point, but I just thought that was just like an opportunity that was missed on the show. But that's besides the point. Her job seems really cool. That's one of the fields that I'm interested in, but that's beside the point. The finale, okay, so the relationship wasn't good. It wasn't. I'm just like in my opinion, the fridge thing, like that conversation between like when he was stuck inside the fridge, didn't come out of nowhere. It didn't come out of left field, because like Carmen gave her a fake number. Like Carmen, Carmen gave her a fake number. It wasn't looking good from the start, but that, I cannot imagine hearing that said to you like in person, like with a person like sitting down and making the conscious choice to tell you that would be crazy. But overhearing that, because Carmen didn't think he was talking to her, I cannot imagine hearing that. He literally said, I don't really care because my restaurant suffered. So whatever I experienced, whatever like good I felt, I don't really care because my restaurant has suffered. And he said, I don't really care how good it felt. I don't really care about her experience. He said, this kind of sucks. I just feel awful because my restaurant sucked. And she just had to hear it. And the thing is, I don't know if Carmy would have broken up with her though. Because while like he doesn't think he deserves any happiness, he also is not, he usually just self-sabotages instead. So I'm like, I don't know if he would have been able to explain any of that to her had he made the conscious choice to like actually break up with her. So while it was awful, and I literally cannot imagine hearing so watching it a second time, no. I cannot imagine hearing that. I don't think he would have I don't think the way he would have said it to her consciously would have been any nicer, or would have been any more put together, or any more thoughtful, or any more courteous. I don't think so. But Carmen just has issues. So that's my explanation for that. I just think he has problems. He has issues. But I don't know. I don't know if this was the point. Nothing she was saying felt real. Nothing she was saying felt like, none of the scenes they were in together felt like, I was like, where am I? Maybe that was a point. But the whole time they're sitting together and I'm like, what is happening right now? What are you even talking about? What is this conversation about? What is this air of mystery, confusion, unease that I'm feeling? It wasn't making sense to me. It wasn't making sense to me personally. Adjusted the lighting slightly. It'll probably be ruined in 2 seconds, but it's fine. Next up, we have Richie. I never thought I'd be here saying this. You never thought I'd be here saying this. Again, I never thought I'd be here saying this because what the fuck? Richie was one of my favorite characters this season. That's so bizarre to even say out loud. He is really annoying. He's a bother. He's a nuisance, and also was not fucking helpful for the past season and a half. My head, that's what was my thought process while watching rewatch. Sorry, I just hit this 6 times. Rewatching last season, just really a nuisance, a bother, and also not helpful. Because I was like, what do you bring to this restaurant besides being a bother to everybody around you? He's an asshole, but I was like, well, maybe he adds something that they need him for. No, there was literally nothing. But now Richie has a purpose, and it makes him so much more tolerable. Oh my God, he has a purpose in life. That's really crazy to me. Look, where's my powder? It's lost. Oh, look how far we have come. Richie with a purpose. That's crazy. He did almost go to jail for manslaughter. I completely forgot about that point until I rewatched season 1 again. Oh my God. He did almost go to jail for manslaughter. Yep. So, there was a bit of a forceful, let's find you a purpose. And he was worried the whole first couple episodes about his purpose. Yeah, be worried. Because it gave him drive. And now Richie has light in his eyes. He's flying out of bed. He's up before the alarm goes off. He organizes. He labels things. Richie reads. Richie's reading multiple books. That's incredible to me. I really like that entire, it was episode 7, 8, Forks. Loved that episode. Also loved, really, really, really well done episode. I want to rewatch that one again too. I liked seeing in the Christmas episode, I liked seeing him and Tiff before. I can't even imagine how badly he must have fucked that up. Probably makes season 1 Richie look honestly tame. But now he has a purpose in life besides being an asshole. He's found some drive, some purpose, some reason, I don't know, to do things besides just, being like how he is, which is great, which is fantastic. And then we see in the finale, he ate that up. They were really, 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 it was not looking good for them. It was not looking good for them, and Richie saves the day. I really enjoyed that, and I was not expecting it, but I'm happy. I'm everyone else is growing, seeing everyone else is growing, changing, a couple people still have issues, but we'll talk about that in a second. It's just really great, and it was really, I was actually genuinely surprised, and I thought it was really well done. So I was like, when are we gonna address the Richie in the room? When are we gonna address what Richie brings to the table? I just thought that was a good episode. Now, next person we have is Marcus. First off, Marcus can really bake. Marcus can really, because those desserts, I'm not really a dessert person because I don't like cake. And I don't like hot fruit or wet fruit. So I'm not a dessert person because a lot of things I don't like stuffed things either. I don't like filled things either. So a lot of desserts fall into that category. But the shit he was creating looked really, really, really good. shit was filled with stuff and I didn't care. I was like, that looks really good and I want to eat it anyways. Talent to get me to eat baked goods. That's a real talent. I was so happy for him going to Copenhagen. I loved that episode too. It was beautiful. It was like beautiful. And it was also like Marcus like doing something. He seemed to have a lot of fun. That invisible cat thing, was that like a discipline thing? Like what was that? What was like, anybody want to explain to me like what that was? And I don't know where my lip liner is, so I'm gonna use a brow pencil. Fun. Like, so that was great episode. He was doing great, learned a lot, learned from Luca, had cute little moments with Luca. That was really fun. And then just came back and it just all went to shit. Like, it just all, not all went to shit, but it wasn't good. Like, I don't know. The asking Sydney out, that I think when that was way worse than I anticipated it being. That was way worse. And even that wasn't even the worst part. It was the aftermath of it that was even the worst part. Like, she let him down as awkwardly but as nicely as humanly possible as she could. She really tried the best way Sydney knew how to let him down easy, and it went horribly. It was embarrassing. It was really embarrassing. Now, Sydney that's my sister. She was ignoring him that's not a good thing to do, chefs, communication, pretty needed if you're making a shit ton of food at once. It wasn't great. No, it wasn't. I'm not here to blow smoke up your ass. Like, I'm not here to say like that was fine when it wasn't. But the outburst, all right, like, she already rejected you. I don't know if the random outburst, like temper tantrum-esque thing is gonna help your case. I don't know. Like, he was frustrated. It probably is very frustrating. Somebody who like needs to listen to you, not like she wasn't responding to him at all. It wasn't great. How is that making things better? That is my first question. How was that making things better? What was the thought process behind, okay, I'm going to yell at her, and what's going to happen? What was the end goal? I don't think so. And now something just probably really bad just happened to his mom. And it's not looking good, and I'm really nervous. Because he learned how to cook. He went to Copenhagen, Denmark, all this stuff. And now his mom is ill. That's really fucked up. But the scene where he finds, what was his name? Josh, like smoking meth in the parking lot. That really made me laugh. That was after the whole like temper tantrum yelling. So I was looking at him kind of crazy. So that made me laugh. And I was like, okay, I'll calm down a little bit, because that was really, I'm just wondering, like, so he was like in the middle of the shift, like, if let's go with it. Let's say the meth gave him energy. But so why in the middle of the shift? Why in the middle of the service? Why not before? Like, I'm really wondering about like the technicalities of it, because why he was gone for a long time. Like, he was gone for a long time, and I'm like, did you think no one would notice? No one would come look? That doesn't make any sense to me. But it's, I'm gonna leave it alone. But Marcus, I was side-eyeing you after that a little bit. Now I'm like, okay, maybe things can go like back to like normal again. Don't think so. But we can hope. We can hope. But yeah, don't yell at Sydney again. I don't appreciate when any man in the show, because another one does it a lot too. I don't appreciate when they're yelling at her, because that's really just calm down. Like, I don't know. I just think they're like, get control of your emotions. Why are you hysteric? It doesn't make any sense to me. Next up, my queenie, Sugar. Sugar has suffered more than the Marine Corps. Sugar has suffered, oh my God. Sugar has been in the trenches, I think, her entire life. I don't know if she's had a second to breathe outside of the trenches. Like, let's just discuss the absolute oomph she had when she threw that fuck ass tuna casserole out the window. Sugar has suffered. Sugar has suffered. Sugar has suffered. And I think she's the only daughter. I think she's the eldest. I'm not sure, but she's definitely the only daughter. And so we all know why. The thing about the Christmas episode was not so much like the crazy shit that happened, because that was wild. It was, to me, all I kept thinking in my head when watching that episode was, this is one Christmas. This is one Christmas. Like, Christmas happens every year. Christmas happens every year. We're just seeing one Christmas in all of their years alive, and it looks like that. I cannot imagine the absolute damage that has been done up here. Like, of course, I think it was the craziest one because, their mom drove a car into the house, but that's just one out of, I don't know how old they are, out of like 20-something Christmases. Sugar has suffered more than the Marines. Okay, that's what's actually has happened. But let me talk about Donna first. Oh my God. That really great depictions of what happens in families where the motto is ignore, ignore, ignore. The motto is, we're going to pretend like this doesn't exist and we're going to hope that things go away. Really excellent depiction of that. Really good showcasing just how far and deep the damage will go when things like that happen. Because literally, I learned many things from that one episode. Nobody in that family talks about anything except when it comes time to throw digs at each other. I'm looking at you, Lee, the genius, clearly. Oh, and then trigger warning for suicide for this part of the video. Everyone just seems to know that Michael was an addict and just never said anything except for, again, Lee, the genius, his genius plan to tell a suicidal addict that he was worth nothing. Really, really well put together, really, really organized. Seems like he had a goal in mind and clearly succeeded at that goal. So everyone knows he has issues, ignore them. Everybody knows Donna has issues, but the one Sugar, who tries to do anything about it, receives the brunt and the actual fist pumping of her words. Like, okay, Donna doesn't like when someone asks her if she's okay, but like never asking her that, like I'm wondering about her brothers. Carmi is the youngest, so they don't know much of anything, but what was your plan? Because, okay, someone asking Donna if she's okay triggers her. Never asking her that. What is the thought process behind that exactly? Like, because we know she's not okay. Because every time the scene cut to that kitchen, my heart rate went up like 10,000. That was possibly the most chaotic thing I have ever seen, was that kitchen. And we all watched season 1 of The Bear. And that kitchen was the most chaotic thing I've possibly ever seen in my entire life. The timers, the mess, the fact that her hands were constantly covered in shit. Yeah, I was losing my mind a little bit. I did have to lay down. Sugar's just trying to help. And this is my thing. Sugar, very clearly from what we saw from all of these episodes, has no frame of reference for anything related to like normal, healthy conversations. She has no frame of reference for conversations about mental health. Lee is in the room. We could just use him as a prime example. That is her frame of reference for how to talk to somebody with like mental health issues. She has no frame of reference. She doesn't know what else to do besides ask Donna, are you okay? It felt like a reflex. She's not consciously going out of her way to trigger her mom. That is the only thing she's able to be like, this is the only way that in my brain recognizes how to help, is to ask someone. Because you ask people when they're not to be okay, are you okay? It's not on purpose. And Donna would just lash out so bad whenever Sugar would bring up, hey, very clearly you're not doing that great right now. Let's discuss. And the only daughter being the one to acknowledge the issue, it's not done in a great way, but she has no framework of it. The only one to acknowledge the issue, and also the one who's getting the brunt of her words, they ate that up. They ate the writers, who you again should pay, really ate that up. Really, like, it's really big brain behavior up there. Sugar even being her nickname. Her nickname being a reminder of a way that she fucked up, because she was a child, right? She's the only one trying, the only one showing up, and she's getting punished for it. Because her brother's genius plan to ignore, which also they have been taught to do all their lives, doesn't fucking work. So she's trying. When Donna showed up at the opening, that whole conversation with Pete shattered my heart into like 10,000 pieces, because she seems to at least recognize that she's had a pretty large role in all of her kids being fucked up in many, many, many ways. But having Pete hold that secret, that's what was killing me. And Pete is so sweet. Very, very sweet. It's what Sugar deserves after growing up like that. Because he was trying to smile through snot-nosed crying about her mom. Like, he was still trying to put a happy front on. And I feel like Pete should tell her that her mom was there. I don't know what will actually happen with that, but I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know if not telling her is the best thing. I don't know their family. I'm not in their family. So maybe not telling her is the best thing. That's what Donna actually wanted. But I'm not sure. But the relationship is not good. She didn't even tell her mom that she was pregnant. Because who knows what the reaction to that would have been. Like, I think we all need to crowdfund therapy for the Bearzados. Therapy for the family. If we can all get that together, because it's not like this. I am feeling as a viewer the secondhand effects of this just smog of mental health issues, and it's too much. And it makes me really, really worried. And it gives me heart problems. Besides that, I love Sydney and Nat's relationship. I think it's really cute. I think that omelet thing was adorable. Also, I hate eggs. I don't hate eggs, actually. I just don't eat them often. But that omelet looked really good. But I would never eat an omelet. See, that's the thing with the show. I don't eat omelets. That's gross to me. But the omelet looked really good. Like potato chips on eggs does sound really good. I'm not gonna make eggs anytime soon, but the next time that I feel like, why not have, an egg, I might try it. I'm not a chef, but I'm gonna try it. But I thought it was really cute. I think their relationship's adorable. I'd like to see more of that, especially because I just think I need Sugar just to focus on this. Focus kind of what Michelle was talking to Carmi about, this is not good for your head. You need to come to a different place. The bear has its issues, but we're there, the restaurant's getting slightly better now. Let's focus here. And because this I'm really worried about. Let's draw your attention here instead. Those are my thoughts on Natalie or Sugar. Okay. Where's my lip gloss? I want to put more on. Next up, we have Sydney, my sister. That's amazing, breathtaking, brilliant, stunning, successful, incredible, world-defying genius. Yeah. Sydney has suffered, but we will succeed because she is succeeding. Sydney is successful. We're not even going to get into how the restaurant could not have opened without her at all, because her partner was doing, who knows what. It's fine. My sister is successful. I want to first start with her father. So clearly loves her, wants what's best. I just think, the path taken to express that was not great. It was a little too much. You could fail, you might fail. A little too much of that for me, when Sydney had more than enough of that occurring in her own head. She had more than, and of course, opening a restaurant, pretty big risk. You want to be realistic. You do have to be realistic with opening a restaurant, but it's what if she succeeds? Like, there wasn't enough of that for me personally. Like, what if you succeed? Like, you can live here for as long as you want, but what if you succeed? There wasn't enough of the like other side of it for me. But you know, he was probably trying his best, but it was because to me, watching it, Sydney had more than enough of the what if I fail happening in her own head. She had more than enough of the self-doubt. She was vomiting as soon as opening night ended. Like, I think she had more enough of the realism in her head. And that's about like with friends and family and like people that you care about. Like, if they have enough of that in their own head, you don't need to add to it. Like, it's not completely necessary to be like, yeah, what if you fail? Like, what if everything you work so like it's enough. We've had enough now. Like, she knows she could fail. She did fail last time. She knows, she's well aware of that. Sydney has been putting 120% into her partnership. 120% into this restaurant, has been putting her all into this restaurant. Like, when under like that table conversation, when she was like telling Carmi, oh, you could have done this without me, I was screaming at the screen, no the fuck he couldn't have. Bless his heart, but he couldn't even call the fridge guy to fix the fridge. Carmi has issues, we're gonna get into that later, but he couldn't even call the fridge guy. So no, he couldn't have. No, he couldn't have done it without you. Yeah, I was getting upset. But his brain works in a different way. That's why. It makes him a great chef, but a terrible business person. But it's not a conscious choice, but that's what's happening. But he couldn't call the fridge guy, okay? Sydney's always there. She's always kept her eye on the prize, mostly out of fear. I think is what was driving that, because of her catering business. But if it worked, she was vomiting the second opening was over. I don't think she ate that whole day. Like, she made the omelet for Natalie. I don't know if she ate the whole day. My sister has persevered, and my sister will be successful. And she had to take not the brunt, but a lot of Carmi's unresolved issues. I don't know why he's always yelling at her. Like, I don't know why every time he gets triggered by something, he comes back in and he yells at Sydney. I've had enough of that. He's gotten better with time, like recognizing, like, all right, I'm wrong. There's no reason for me to be yelling at you. The I'm sorry thing, that, like, okay. It's just, let's get there a little bit faster. Let's get that before we have the outburst. That's my goal for Carmi for next season. But ignoring Carmi, Sydney can cook. That omelet, I don't fuck with eggs like that. I don't know much about cooking, but I know when stuff looks good. Like, she's very talented, and she was second guessing herself the whole season because of that fear of failure and terrified of what could possibly happen this time around. The thing with Marcus, let's ignore that. Not ignore it. Let's keep the fact that he had a hissy fit in the back of our head, but because that needs to be noted. But let's ignore that. No. Let's keep it here because interesting, noted, but now, Sydney, she was jealous of Claire. She was jealous. She was jealous of Claire. It's all right for us to, she was jealous of Claire. Claire was taking time away from not consciously, of course, but taking his time from the restaurant. Now, Carmi, being the person that could choose where to direct his attention to, but it's fine. She was jealous of Claire. I think she was jealous of Claire, and she was like, you're like not being able to divide your attention appropriately between the restaurant and your relationship. I think both things are true. I can't speak to which one she cares about more, but I think she was jealous. I think she was jealous of Claire in that sense. People love to shit people. Do what you want. I support you on your journey. Many years of therapy would need to be involved first. I'm like, yeah, do the therapy first. But let's just think like, what if we brought in someone entirely new for Sydney? If we're gonna do the romance, I just don't even know, because the way the Claire and I don't know if that relationship was written like that on purpose to be awful, or if that's how romance is going to exist in the show. Basically, if that's what you're going to do with Sydney and somebody else, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want, no, I don't want, no. If it's gonna have that energy of like, is this, I don't want that. But like, if that's what's gonna happen, I don't know. But I'm like, let's bring in someone entirely new. Because I would love to see two people jealous. I would love to see Carmy and Marcus jealous. That's just me. I like mess. Like, let's just bring in somebody entirely new. It could be anybody. We don't like, what if Sydney's not even into men? We don't know anything. But I'm always an advocate of making more people jealous. If we're gonna, go down the path, because there was a lot more evidence for said Carmy this season than there was last season. Let's spice things up a little bit first. That's just me enjoying watching mess on screen. Okay. But I don't know. When I watch the show, I don't necessarily go straight to like, where is the romance in the show? I didn't do that before, but I'm just like, please, I don't want to watch any more of whatever that was between Carmy and Claire. So I don't want any more. I don't want that energy. I don't want that. So if all romance is going to look like that, I don't want it. If it's not, though, I am open to discussions. And last, but not least, we have Carmy. Many things, many places to start. First, that photo of him and Luca in that restaurant did kill me. I would just like to get that out there on the record. But I'm not going to do too much, because I don't want that documented. Carmy, we have to get you help. We have to, because I don't want to yell, because everything was a cry for help. Let us first start. You have got to talk to somebody about that last job, where you're now seeing a brunette white man and losing it. Oh, you have to, you see a look-alike brunette white man and start yelling at Sydney. We have to figure this out. And I am not qualified to help you figure that. I'm not, Claire is not, Sydney is not either, Richie is not, Sugar is not, we have to fix this. It was just very interesting to me, because I was like, she quit last season because you were talking to her crazy. She quit 3 months ago because you were talking to her crazy. And then he talks to her crazy again. That's why I can't get down with it until we could, because it's not like conscious, but I can't get down with that. I can't get down with you having a panic attack and thinking of Sydney to calm yourself down. I can't get down with that until we figure out this first. That's just me though. Could a chef opening a restaurant date someone? Yes, they could. Can Carmy? No, he can't. He thinks that it's because he doesn't think he deserves to be happy. I just think he just keeps hurting himself and self-sabotaging himself so bad, so he's not able to have the capacity for anything else. You have to feel good and love yourself and have the ability to be happy and let yourself be happy in order to be with somebody else. And Carmy just doesn't let himself feel that, which is really sad. Donna fucked him all the way up. That chef clearly fucked him all the way up. Richie was wrong for calling him Donna. He was wrong. but he was right, but he was wrong. He was wrong, but he was right. Unfortunately, I don't like admitting that Richie's right, but I've had to do that a lot this season, actually. You can't date anybody else until you start caring about yourself. Like, you can't care for somebody else if you don't care about yourself at all. So until we can figure that out, ixnay on dating anybody, on dating anybody. Like, Claire is now fucked up because you decided, I'm gonna say horrible things. You know, he didn't make the choice to say those things to her, but now Claire is fucked up because of this too. And see, I said the same thing when Uncle Jimmy was like, uh-oh. That was my same reaction because because it hasn't been going well this whole season. So he was very right to say uh-oh. I think he did like Claire, like, a lot. I just think he does not know how to be happy, and he doesn't let himself be happy, so there was no way that was ever going to work out. Like, he was smiling for the first time. He wasn't, like, scowling. That was really crazy to see joy in his eyes, light in his eyes. But I'm not totally sure, because I'm like, you're having a panic attack, so you think of your girlfriend, and that makes a panic attack worse. And your girlfriend reminds you of your incredibly chaotic family, which makes the panic attack worse. I'm not totally sure. And he gave her a fake number. Like, he gave her a fake number. I think because he didn't want to, like, hurt himself or, like, hurt her, but that went to shit anyways. It's not good. It's not good. I think, like, I did already said I think Sydney was jealous of Claire. I think that's still true. Cause there was, like, yeah, I still think that's true. I just can't get down with it because he needs to figure out his issues of like being triggered and then taking it out on the nearest person, which is usually Sydney. Like, I need, because I'm side-eyeing Marcus for yelling at her. I can't ignore the fact that it happens every single time. Yeah, that's gonna have to be changed. So, like, your trauma is very real. That chef really, really fucked you up. Like, clearly, like, of course, like, that's really sad. But, like, why are you losing it on Sydney? That's my thing. I just think all of these, I have a list of things that I literally need Carmy to, actually, probably the whole cast, everybody in the restaurant needs these things as well. But this needs to happen. I'm not even talking about dating. I mean, just for his own sanity. 1 full year in therapy, at least. A planner. I don't care if it's an app, a physical planner, a bullet journal, Post-it. I don't care what it is, but some types of forced organization. A working cell phone. So I don't know what exactly how this would work, but he is a pro. He cannot conceptualize numbers whatsoever. So probably his therapist would figure that out, but maybe a calculator, but a calculator is not going to help you conceptualize numbers. But because I'm not qualified to tell you how to fix that, or how to, like, help that, but something for that as well. A full night's rest. A full, like, 8 hours of sleep. Crazy. A visit to a primary care physician. Everyone was drinking Pepto-Bismol like it was soda. I would like us to explore that. I would like to get us into a clinic and figure out, yeah, that's not good. Anger management. Maybe move this one up to number 1, right? Either above or below the therapy. Actually, I'm going to put working cell phone, a planner, but we can do the anger management needs to be in the top 3 though. Why is there so much bass in your voice when you're talking to Sydney? Like, that's the reason she quit last time. That's the reason she quit. That's the reason she quit like 4 months ago. Let's learn from our mistake. I can't. You have to learn. He needs to learn how to regulate his emotions. Please, like, not even for anybody else, for your own sanity. He was losing it in that fridge. I mean, he was locked in a walk-in fridge. That's you know, you can lose it because of that as well. But it was not looking good for him. It was like, oh my God. That's why the show is really well done in showing what exactly was running through his mind when he was locked in a fridge. Like, and have the restaurant working very, very well while he was locked in the fridge. Wonder how he's gonna reconcile with that. In fact, the restaurant actually went perfectly smoothly. You know, you had a chef who was doing meth outside and the executive chef locked in the fridge, and Richie and Sydney and Tina ate it up, fixed everything, and everything started going actually to an actual plan. Wonder how he's gonna reconcile with like realizing that. But that's not for me to worry about. So yeah, we do need to address that list. We do need to address that list in a little bit at least. Like, But those are my thoughts. I have no like, Sydney doesn't like, for like the little shifts that people do, Sydney doesn't like Marcus, so that's dead. The real enemy is anybody who ships Sydney and Richie. Get a grip. Get a grip. Gonna be nice about it. Get a grip. Touch grass. Touch a leaf. And if anyone's thinking about doing that, I need you to touch grass as well. So, the Christmas dinner episode was so funny. I don't think I was supposed to be laughing that much, but I was cracking. First of all, whenever John Mulaney spoke, I was cracking the fuck up. It literally did not matter what he was saying. I was laughing my ass off. Like I don't think everything was supposed to be funny, but it was really funny to me. I already said I had to lay down because that episode was too much. That episode was too much. Mike, I have to, like, who is Lee? They brought him up in season 1, like, but I still don't know who is that, and why is he so comfortable talking crazy to Michael across the dinner table? That was wild to me. His plan, he's already holding a fork in his hand and you're gonna antagonize him? Like, I feel like you want a fork in your eye. Like, I don't know. Like, everything he was saying would be wildly inappropriate to say to literally anyone, but to someone you know is not doing well, just pushing them and pushing. I'm not saying you deserve the fork, but I'm not saying that. Because he got a lot of things to say and nothing to back it up. That's just my thing. Like, why would you say I can still flinch? I'm not on anything. What would make you say that? What would make you say that to him? That's why, you know, I supported Michael throwing the fork the last time, because he went in for another one. I'm like, the situation is resolved, you know. I forget what John Mulaney's name is in this show. Stevie? He given his he said grace, everything's fine, and then you went in for a last one. Yeah. You did deserve the last fork throw, unfortunately. Not unfortunately, but you did. So that episode was hilarious. I want more of like what. I mean, we get a good glimpse of what their family life is like. It was one episode. It was an hour long, but we got like a peek in at like 25 years of like family dynamics and learned so much more about Sugar. Oh, my sister has suffered more than the Marines. Oh my God. Yeah, I really like that episode. I really like the Denmark episode as well. And I really like Richie's episodes. Those are my favorite episodes of the season. So yeah, those are my thoughts on The Bear Season 2. What were your guys' favorite episodes? What were your thoughts? Share them down below. And yeah, I don't know when Season 3 is coming out because you would have to pay your writers. I don't know. I don't think a computer could write that. I don't think a computer could write that. I'm not thinking so. I'm not thinking a computer could write like the chef is smoking meth outside on Friends and Family Night. I'm not thinking a computer could come up with that. I'm not thinking a computer could come up with a Christmas episode. So it might be time to give it up and pay the writers, but I'll leave that alone for now. So yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts. I'm excited to read, see what the thoughts are. What do you think is gonna happen in season 3? I don't need like very serious arguments about shipping in my comments. Like, please don't do that. Do what you want, but don't actually curse somebody out over. Don't do that. That's my final thought. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please stay safe. Please, you can always put your mask back on if you took it off. You know, air quality is not great. I live in New York. Air quality is not great. Maybe put it back on. You know, also, you know, COVID virus, respiratory virus. Sorry, I just touched the microphone again. I would put the mask back on. That was my really genius, really well formulated thought. That was a really good thought that I had just there. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.